met at the beginning of 2018. When I say beginning, I mean like January, like early January. And we met at this little place that I had been going for a little bit. Where it was pretty much like a training academy in New York, and
It's Born Star. You could just say it. Like, honestly, you could just say it. It's Born Star. Everybody knows it.
So I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna do it. And then a couple of weeks after that, he came to kind of sit in and like watch like a dance class just to see what it was like there.
By the way, that was one of the things I spent all my money on, and then Jimmy was like buying me chicken nuggets from Wendy's. I mean, Toshi, come to footage. Come to footage.
I don't know what you're talking about. That's what I heard. Right. Toshi,
So
Right.
that dance class, there wasn't much to see, but I remember right at the end of So me and actually my friend Julian over here, and we had kind of started this like stupid little project group thing called Image. And what Image was supposed to be just like a US based kind of K-pop inspired group. And then I saw Beomhan and another friend who had come to watch, and I was like, wow, they're really good at dancing. So I walked up and I was like, hey, I'm Jay, this is my friend Julian. Do you want to join a little thing called Image?
Oh, what?
So basically, long story short, like I took him into like another room, and we kind of just like.
Y'all are chaotic. You should expect your fans to be too. Just saying.
We went to like a separate like dancing room, and like kind of like we kind of just like talked about it and things. So we started doing this together, and that's kind of where we realized like, wow, this is like, you know, this could happen. Like we really enjoy like performing together. We enjoy doing this, so let's do it. But unfortunately, oh sorry.
So basically, we met at like this training academy. What's it called? Yeah, what would it be, you guys?
Like, come on. It's
It was across the street, and
It
we
still
were just two kids
is.
who were like, oh hey, K-pop is really cool. We love K-pop, right? And then we met through that way, and he came up to me. He was like, hey man, I have this group. It's called Image. You guys want to like be a group? And it was like we were like gonna like debut to be a boy band together. But then like it wasn't like a real boy band. It was just like two kids in high school. Like, yo man, you want to start a band? You know. And what happened? Oh yeah, we started doing like our own like promotions and stuff, and like our own idea of promotions. We were literally just going outside like G-Idol concerts and being like, yo, you guys like K-pop? You guys like us? Can you please follow us on Instagram? That was literally what we were doing.
Yeah, that's where we were.
And then we did that for like a couple of weeks, and then
So a little shortly after that, I had gotten an Instagram. I was back home in New Jersey at a friend's like pool because it was like in the middle of August, so he was like inviting friends over to his pool. I get a DM and it's basically saying from this account that has no followers, no profile picture. It just says, "Hi, we are recruiting for a new television show called Under 19. Would you like to go on it?" I was like, this is a scam, and I deleted the message right then and there. So about 2 months later, I got, oh no, it wasn't in August, that was in July. So 2 months later, in August, is when I got another DM from the same account saying, by the way, did you see my DM? Do you want to be on the show? I was like, alright, I'm gonna look this thing up. So I go and I look it up, and then it's like, oh, this new show on Korean broadcasting station, NBC, wants to start a new survival program called COVID-19. So please. So. So then they I basically sent a reply saying, okay, can I get some more information on this? Why me? Basically, they had seen me post an Instagram video of me singing a song called Seattle on like a local on like a local New York radio station, like a Korean radio station. And then I just posted something of it because like, hey, this is kind of cool. They saw it and they were like, we want you on the show. Can you please send an audition with your information, stuff like that? I was like, sure, I'll do that. So I do it, and then like they send back like, cool, add us on Skype, and they send me a Skype link.
Say what?
This is how long ago it was.
2018. But yeah. So where am I? So they call me on Skype and I answer. I'm like in my pajamas in my living room. They call me. This is a boardroom with like people in like suits, and I'm like, and then they're just all staring like this. And then I'm like, Jesus, did I do something? And then one, I think it was a woman, she comes up to the computer and says, hello, can you sing a song for us? And I'm like, okay. So I start singing the Seattle song to them, and then they all start laughing.
Can you show us a little bit how that audition looked like?
Yeah, sure. In a bit. Very short. But yeah, that happened. And sorry, I have ADHD, so when something like kind of sidetracks me, I'm like trying to get back up. Okay. So then when that happened, basically they all like started laughing at me, and I'm like, did I say something wrong? Oh god. But then the woman basically just said, they thought you were really cute. Ouch. But then a couple days later, I get a message saying, hey, you're on the show. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So then I go back to the training center and I'm like, so, guys, we have news. I got this big opportunity to go over to Korea for a television show. So I don't know if I'll be able to continue with Image.
Image disbanded.
Gets it.
I remember like that moment when, because we were really excited about this project. We were contacting a lot of companies, like trying to like get us like whatever, right? And then we had a lot of content ideas, and we were moving forward. And like you kind of came with that like news, and we were just kind of like, oh, okay, go, right? And then there were a lot of butts in your head.
And then you call us wrong.
There were a lot of butts in his head. I was like, oh hey, but you guys, but this, but that, and then Toshi comes in the room right at that moment, right? He goes, wait, hold this conversation, and it got me, Jay, and Julie to sit in a circle, and he was like, he pulled out a camera, and I was like, now have the conversation. And then, so there's a video somewhere out there where it was just me, Jay, and Julie sitting in a circle talking about our feelings and crying. And then, Toshi the whole time had his camera like, this is so good.
The real MVP, yo.
That's a battle laptop.
So yeah, it was a very bittersweet moment, but then you went. And then what?
So, yeah. I go over to this television show. Most of you guys know what happened then.
That's not my fault, that was my fault.
Yeah. It's okay.
Yeah, they got tasteless.
So So at this point in time, I had only been singing for about, I would say, a year.
Lies.
And I'd only been studying Korean for about 3 months. So I was like, I knew virtually nothing about anything when I went on the show. So basically, if you guys watch the show, all the episodes will be in it, I'm not saying anything. It's literally just my face. Like,
That's true.
Whether it's
Sadly.
like making facial expressions or just like singing. That's about it. So,
You still did great.
thank you. So at that moment, so basically, this is when most of you know that video came out where I was singing Seattle on the stage, and then when that happened, I had already been kind of eliminated because of I wasn't very popular with Koreans, which makes sense because I didn't say a word on the show. I was just saying. So, but I came back home in 2019, and this was kind of like a bridge period for me where I was trying to figure out what I was going to do next. But while that was happening, where were you?
Oh.
That was really good. That was really good. So, after Image had disbanded, there was a long period of time where I was like, okay, now what, right? And then I was like, I'll just dance, just keep doing what it is that I love, right?
Just dance.
And I saw the episode come out where he sang Seattle. And then I was like, wow. And then everyone from your hometown was like, wow. And we're all
That's
like,
my
wow.
best
Like, we're all
friend.
really
That's
happy.
my best friend.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
You can really dance.
And then at that point, I was like, wow, we're really proud of Jay, and like, I need to do something too, right? And then, but I didn't know how to like go about entering the industry and like whatever. And then I got a DM from Instagram as well. Not as cool. It was this company that was like, hey man, we do K-pop. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And they're like, yeah, we're in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm like, wait, what? And they're like, no, it's like really cool, I promise. And I was like, oh, okay.
Sketch.
And I like thought about Jay. I was like, you're doing really good, so I like gotta go, right? And then I went, and they were like, you're gonna get a house here. And I was like, wait, me? So they were like, okay, they got me like an apartment, right? And they're like, okay, we're gonna give you a huge training dance studio, right? And I was like, okay, right? And then they sent me back to they sent me back to New York to think about it, like whatever. And then I signed some papers and I flew back. And then I was like 18 years old and I had 100 pounds of luggage. I'm gonna be with Jay. And then they were like, okay, go to your apartment and we'll come pick you up, right? I went to the apartment with my 100 pounds of luggage, right? And also, I was paying for the apartment, right? Out of my pocket, right?
Eh?
I put in $3,000 into this apartment as a down payment, right? Because I was 18, right? So I was like, okay, I'm here.
Where was your
And I
parents?
called the
Did they
company,
pick you up?
and they were like, oh, what? It was a scam. The apartment was a scam.
Obviously.
And then, so I was 18. I was like miles and miles away from home. And then I was homeless. And I was like, oh, I don't have a place to stay. And then I was like, okay, whatever, I'll just go dance, I guess. I'm homeless, I can go dance, right? And then I went to the training studio. They didn't have a training studio either.
Who do you want me to get up?
I'm gonna speed the story up. Basically, I went to Georgia. I stayed there for about like 8 months with them for some reason. Because I was like, oh, I can't tell my family because they're gonna be like, no man, you're supposed to be in college. You know? So yeah, I stayed there for
Fair
about
enough.
8 months, and then the management there was like really, for lack of a better term, mean. Yeah, for lack of a better term. And then I had like a bunch of problems, and then I eventually left that company. And then I still kept looking at Jay. I was like, he's doing so well, right? And this is when you were in Korea, and I had no idea what he was going through. In Korea, what were you going through?
Okay, so.
Oh, by the way, we have like Korean songs.
Okay, that's right.
Yes, because I have no more
The
film.
beginning of 2019 is when that bridge week was happening, and I had kind of just been like working to like get my name out there, just doing like YouTube and other things like that. And then eventually I got reached out by a company. They wanted to debut me as soon as possible, like that year. In October
Scam.
2019, they wanted to debut me right there as a solo artist, and I was like, okay, let's do it. So I joined this company, and we tried to, I go there, and I'm like, all right, so let's do this. We're going to debut in October 2019. Let's do it. Hey! And then like a month goes by, and I'm like, all right. And then like 2 months go by, and I'm like, And then, a whole year goes by of just no information, like just nothing. Like they said something at the beginning, and then radio silence for a year.
And COVID.
And then I was like, whoa, what is going on? During this time, it felt as though I was being neglect. I had just been doing my own thing, and I didn't really have much to do, and it wasn't until about August or October of 2020 when they were like, hey, we have a song for you. And I was like, oh, okay, cool, let's do it. And then we do the song. It releases in November. And like it had already been about a year and a half at this point where I had just been gone, just disappeared. The debut flopped. Nobody saw it.
Didn't they use your debut to like promote someone else?
Yeah. On that music video. So on that music video, there was like a few scenes that were very foreign to me. I was like, what is this? What's going on? So apparently they had used my debut to promote somebody else in the company to the American audience. And I was like, oh, okay, that's fine. Bye. So I left, and then basically the entirety of 2021, from about January to like April or May, I had just been shut off from the world. I did nothing but play video games all day. I did nothing, didn't want to think about music. That's it. But like during that period of like radio silence, when I just was broken down mentally, it's one thing to like kind of know what's going on, but it's another thing to just not know what's going on at all, what you're doing, what your life is supposed to be. And it was during this time where I had gotten a call from Beomhan, and
Hold on. Okay. So this was all going on. I didn't know, like, he had his highs, and during his highest of highs, I had my lowest of lows, right? And then after the whole thing with the Atlanta company, Ashley, where's Ashley? She's gone. Okay, there was a staff who's still working with us today, who used to be part of that Atlanta company, and left after they saw how they treated me. And then she still kept working and like trying to take care of me after I left. Right? And she got me connected to the Korean company that I'm a part of right now, which is FMX.
Yes!
She has no idea what's going on. Can we all clap her? She has no idea what's going on. This is hilarious.
Real MVP!
And when I finally went to Korea was when he came back home. And he was going through all that stuff, playing video games and all that stuff. Sorry. And while though our paths were always kind of parallel, and always kind of like mirrored each other in a way where like you were pushing me when I needed it, and I hope that I pushed you when you needed it as well, right? And now that things are finally going good, and I've released a couple of like projects, I came back and I texted him. I was like, hey, we're going on tour. You know,